2 Works For You begins right now with breaking news.
Now at 5, we are following 2 breaking stories for you right now. A homicide in Broken Arrow and a double homicide in East Tulsa, both very active scenes. We have live team coverage from both locations tonight. We'll begin with 2 Works For You reporter Tony Russell live in the 1100 block of North Hickory Place in Broken Arrow. And Tony, what are police telling you now?
Okay, so police can confirm with us that this is a homicide investigation here in Broken Arrow. They've been focusing on this home, like you said, on Hickory. They tell us earlier this afternoon they received a call from someone, wanted to check on someone inside that home that they haven't heard from in about a week. And when police got there, they said someone answered the door and wouldn't let them in, but finally someone did let them in. It was further identified that that person at the door was the victim's son. They found a 40-year-old man, a man in his 40s, inside the home, dead. But that's been the investigation for the remainder of the afternoon and the evening. They did place an 18-year-old into custody. It's unclear if the son who answered the door is the 18-year-old that they have in custody. We're going to get that cleared up in a little bit. We're going to speak with Broken Arrow Police very shortly. I'm told a spokesperson is here, and we'll get with them and to kind of clarify some of those things up. But again, just to kind of reset a homicide investigation here just on the northwest side of Kenosha and Elm. And police are now interviewing people here all up and down trying to get the story of what happened. Reporting live in Broken Arrow, Tony Russell, 2 Works For You.
Now, there is also a double homicide in East Tulsa. Reporter Lorraine Callender is live near 11th and Highway 169. And Lorraine, what do you know there at this time?
Well, Karen, you can still see a very active scene here behind me. Now, the place is just covered with police vehicles and caution tape as they investigate this double homicide. Now, it's still early in the investigation, but officers say the call originally came in as shots heard at the Whispering Oaks apartments. Officers found a door open on the 2nd floor, which is where they found the 2 men dead inside. Now, no weapon was found inside the apartment. They have canine officers out tracking, but haven't had any success so far. Now, there's still no suspect description, but we're going to continue to follow this and update you as soon as we learn more on this investigation. Back to you, Karen.
Now, your 2 Works For You first forecast, brought to you by Bob Hurley Auto Family.
All right, the winter storm watch has been canceled for the area as we are not anticipating much in the way of wintry precip. Well, what happened? Let's go ahead and show you what occurred over the past couple days. All our data since last Friday was showing snow, 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 snow. Well, as the storm system got closer, we saw a lot less moisture return with this system. It tracked further to the south, and it's a lot weaker than our data was indicating all week long. So that's only given us a little narrow band of some light snow across east central Oklahoma for tomorrow. What we are tracking, though, is a cold weekend ahead. Warmer weather is on the way, and already our next storm system. We'll talk all about that with your 10-day forecast here in just a few minutes.
New at 5, several Christmas parades were postponed and even canceled due to the weather. But now that winter storm watch is no longer in effect, some put their events right back on the calendar. 2 Works For You anchor Giselle Puente joins me live from Sapulpa, where people are reacting to the news now. Giselle?
Well, Karen, some people we talked to here in Sapulpa were disappointed after they heard the news of this longtime tradition being canceled. But now that it's back on, they're really looking forward to Sapulpa being transformed into a winter wonderland. For the past 86 years, the city of Sapulpa has put on a Christmas parade with dozens of floats adorning their streets. So when the decision to cancel it for the first time was announced, many people were not happy.
We were all sad. We've all been doing the Christmas parade. I mean, ever since I was little, I've gone every year, and my niece is in it this year, so I was really sad that they canceled it.
But the Chamber of Commerce says it was a decision that was not taken lightly.
Anytime that there's a public safety, we don't want to put anyone's life at harm for a Christmas parade.
Back in Tulsa, crews were also preparing for the worst.
We just used our regular time as we always had, just prepping and getting things ready, getting our trucks ready, our plows ready, just in case, things did happen this weekend.
The city says no resources were wasted and no extra manpower was needed, but they do have workers on standby.
We expect this in Oklahoma. Things change at a moment's notice, but now we're ready to go.
While the annual Tulsa Christmas parade was postponed until next weekend, the parade here in Sapulpa is back on for now.
Bring an umbrella. It is rain or shine, snow or shine.
We're all excited, especially just being a downtown business. We get a little extra customers, and, you know, we sell Christmas shirts, so people come and buy our Christmas shirts.
The parade is scheduled to start tomorrow night at 6 p.m. on Main and Taft. It is expected to draw more than 5,000 people. Reporting in Sapulpa, Giselle Puente, 2 Works for You.
Thank you, Giselle. And we've learned some tragic new details about the shooting massacre at the Borderline Bar in Thousand Oaks, California. The Ventura County Sheriff says that Sergeant Ron Hellis, who died in a gunfight with the suspect, was actually killed by friendly fire. Officials say that Sergeant Hellis was struck by 6 bullets, 5 of them from the suspect. But the medical examiner says it was the bullet from another officer who was responding to the shooting that proved fatal. Sergeant Hellis was shot in the heart. And more security on hand today at Union Public School's 6th and 7th grade center after someone posted a deadly threat to social media. 2 Works 2 reporter Ashley Wheeler shows us exactly what the school does in situations like these to keep your students safe.
Several parents reached out to us today saying they wish they knew about the incident sooner and what was being done to protect the kid. So I went to Union School officials who did not want to go on camera today, but they told me they go through several channels. Once something like this happens, they talk to law enforcement and check the credibility. They did post on social media last night explaining to parents they were aware of the rumors and were responding with the help of Tulsa police. School officials say they will not take a chance with student safety, and if they believed it was a credible threat, they would always have the option to close the school. Officials tell me they will continue investigating. If they believe there is a need, they will keep the extra security through next week. Reporting in Tulsa, Ashley Wheeler, 2 Works for You.
Now, a viewer called and told us about the union threat, and concerning situations like these are why we want to keep the conversation going with you throughout the year. So if you have a school story that you want us to look into, just give us a call at the number on your screen or email us, projectsafeschools@kjrh.com. New tonight, a push to change when your children and grandchildren can enroll in pre-K or kindergarten. Right now, kindergartners must turn 5 before September 1st, but Senate Bill 11 would change the cutoff date to July 1st. 2 Works 2 anchor Aaron Conrad explains why.
Karen, Senator Greg McCourtney says his goal of the bill is to give children more time to mature or be fully potty trained before going to school. He believes changing the cutoff date to July 1st will make a big difference.
Now the youngest kids in the class are still going to be a little more mature than they would have been in the current system.
McCourtney says he's heard from many pre-K teachers in his hometown of Ada. Many feel like they work at a daycare instead of a school. McCourtney wants to change that, which is why he filed Senate Bill 11.
My biggest goal is to make sure that our kids have the best chance possible to succeed. And right now, we've got kids entering school that aren't prepared to learn.
Sean Heim, the executive director of the State School Board Association, says they want to look into whether a couple of months would make a difference.
All children mature at different rates. I don't know if it's just about birth date.
Heim made the decision for his own kids to be held back when they were in school, and he hopes this bill won't prevent other parents from being able to do the same.
This won't change a parent's ability to hold their kids back at all. So if you don't think your kid is ready, then you can hold your kid back.
But under this bill, it would affect a school's enrollment. McCourtney says the first-year class sizes will be down. Senator Allison Ikley Freeman has some concern about that. In a statement, she says, quote, "I do not oppose this bill, but I do question its timing. With Oklahoma having the highest rates of child trauma in the nation, without schools, we lack the resources to safeguard our children." However, McCourtney believes this will improve Oklahoma's schools.
It won't solve all the problems, but it'll make it better.
Aaron Conrad, 2 Works for You.
Meantime, a state senator from Oklahoma is sinking his teeth into a meaty political issue. He wants to make the ribeye the Sooner State's official steak. Senator Casey Murdoch says he's promoting an Oklahoma product and he's got the backing of the restaurant industry. But some residents consider it a waste of time and money.
State steak, your thoughts?
Why?
Do you care if there's a state steak?
No.
We've got more important things to focus on. So I understand it may be cute, but it's just a waste of time. We got other things to do.
Senate Bill 21 would name the ribeye the official state steak of Oklahoma. And by the way, with more than 5 million head of cattle here, we do have more cows than people. Breaking news tonight. Prosecutors say that President Donald Trump's former lawyer should see substantial prison time. Michael Cohen recently pleaded guilty to lying to Congress about the Russia investigation. He's agreed to cooperate with the special counsel's probe, but prosecutors say even doing that, he should still get a hefty sentence, and Cohen will find out next week. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump announcing his picks for the next Attorney General and U.S. Ambassador to the UN. NBC also reporting that Chief of Staff John Kelly will quit within the next few days. Jennifer Johnson breaks it all down for us from Washington.
Changes in the administration as President Trump nominates William Barr to be the next Attorney General. Barr served in the same post under President George H.W. Bush.
He was my first choice from day one, respected by Republicans and respected by Democrats.
Democrats are concerned. Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi accusing Barr of trying to weaken the special counsel's investigation. The president also nominating State Department spokeswoman Heather Nauert, a former Fox News reporter, as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. And now sources telling NBC News White House Chief of Staff John Kelly's departure is imminent. No comment on that. President Trump went on a pre-dawn Twitter tirade saying Robert Mueller and leaking lying James Comey are best friends. The president's tweets also took shots at former National Intelligence Director James Clapper and former CIA Director John Brennan.
I think Mr. Trump is seeing more and more of the walls closing in on him, which is why he is becoming increasingly desperate.
James Comey had a closed-door interview demanded by House Republicans Friday, who were accusing the FBI of bias against candidate Trump as it investigated possible campaign ties to Russia. In Washington, Jennifer Johnson, 2 Works for You.
New tonight, a somber remembrance of Pearl Harbor. 77 years ago, the nation lost more than 2,000 people during an attack by the Japanese, thrusting the nation into World War II. Today in Tulsa, a bell tolled to honor members of the Last Man's Club who have passed. The club's lone survivor, Arliss Cole, was there telling us about his survival.
It's a pleasure, really, to represent my country in this fashion or wherever I can.
The event also included special moments, uniforms, and newspaper clippings, giving all of us a glimpse into the past. We are still covering that breaking news out of Broken Arrow. We want to show you a live look at the scene where police are investigating a man's death. We'll have an update on what investigators have found out so far when we come back. We continue to follow that breaking news out of Broken Arrow tonight. Police investigating a homicide at a home in the 1100 block of North Hickory Place. 2 Works For You reporter Tony Russell was the first reporter on the scene. And Tony, police are questioning a relative of the deceased.
And what we're being told tonight, an 18-year-old is now in police custody. And earlier, when police got to this home here, it's right here on the right-hand side was where we've been seeing investigators walking in and out and processing all afternoon and evening long. They got to the door after they got a phone call from someone saying, hey, we haven't heard from this guy for about a week. So police show up, we're being told, and then get to the door. Someone comes up to the door. Police say the person who was reluctant in opening that door finally got in. The person who opened the door, police tell us, happens to be the victim's son. Again, the 40-year-old man found dead inside the home and an 18-year-old taken into custody. And that's the information we have right now. And the question we're going to ask police officials is that 18-year-old the victim's son? And we'll have that information as soon as we get it. Reporting live in Broken Arrow, Tony Russell, 2 Works For You.